So guys and dolls, it's cold and took Billy at a walk. It was too cold to do a video, so I am going to do a video. This is it, and I'm going to be talking about grief, and yeah, how do we deal with it? How do we deal with losing loved ones? How do we deal with losing just good friends? How do we deal with people that we've lost that have went in horrific ways, and how do we go forward? How do we talk about it? How do we cope as individuals? So I want to cover a wee bit of that. And it's like, I always talk about what's in my head, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've got enough bit of darkness in my head right now, a bit sad, to be honest with you, and it's a number of things, what I mean? It's like talking to one of you guys on here, privately, an old friend, because my oldest friends as well, and not my oldest friends, but some of my old friends and some of my oldest friends as well are on here, and he's all the same. Doesn't matter how long you've known me, we're all friends. And we were talking about stuff from the past, and a friend of ours that isn't here any longer, and his name's Krusty. I'll say that. And yeah, there's going to be other friends of mine that didn't like Krusty, and it's just a crazy world where I live, where I came from, and Krusty was very, very unique, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but it took 5 or 6 men to basically attack him with machetes. You can imagine how that worked out, but, very sad way to go, horrific way to go, and yeah, I wasn't in the country at the time when it happened. I have mentioned that before. And yeah, so we were talking about Krusty and the good old days, and growing up as teenagers, and things that we got up to, and it got us talking about things that were deep and hard to, because we started it, so we couldn't pull out of it, two grown men, and I could see both of us were struggling at the end of it, so I'm going to touch on that. How do we move forward with this kind of thing? How do we keep remembering our friends and keep our mental health right? So I'm going to get indoors to do the rest. Guys and dolls, so different sound in here, so it is. Bit of an echo. I will get some mics. I'm going to get another mic, so I will. I'm just sitting with the window on the me, so it's just better lighting. So it's thingy. I'll get sensitive eyes, but that's the only thing. And I used to have tinted glasses, but I broke them. Proper prescription ones. So but it's all good, all good. You know what I mean? But yeah, talking about grief, guys. It's a difficult one. So it's been a difficult day. It's been a funny day. It's like on top of that, it's Sean's birthday. My mother-in-law. You know, um, baby's granny. It's her birthday today, and you know, we're standing outside our house, just talking to Katie as I was leaving. I was actually talking to Katie about the conversation I had with my friend. I was saying I was telling her how I was feeling, feeling a wee bit thingy about talking about a good friend that's not here with us anymore. And I was basically saying what I was saying to him about, the stuff that was probably going on in his head that people didn't realise what he maybe been through when he was younger. There's a lot of things that we don't know what makes men become a certain way. And this particular friend of mine was, he's quite violent, quite aggressive, because I had like so many enemies, and one of them ones, unless you knew him, grew up with him, you know, you knew the real guy. He wasn't as bad as you thought, or would, come across. And I think a lot of people, I think he could see through a lot of people. And, some of us have these skills where we can see into the soul of a heart, into the soul of a guy through his eyes. And I think Krusty was one of them guys, and, in this trade that he was in and what he was getting up to, you know what I mean? It was, going to meet a lot of dodgy people, and he's made his enemies, and he was one of them kind of people like myself that wouldn't back down from nobody, and like I say, it took a lot of men to put him down, um, and they finished him, like, there's no two ways about it, they weren't they weren't there to give him a beating. They were there to finish him, and they did, and it's difficult, just because it doesn't matter who the person is or what you think that person is, or you know, that's somebody's son, somebody's dad, and it's like nobody really knows the real people. The people that people like me, people like him, show on the street aren't the people we are. It's to do with mental health. It's to do with what we've been through. Looking back now, the way we behaved back then, and the way some of my friends behaved, it was most likely to do with the repercussions of childhood abuse that nobody knew about, whether it be a family member or through the church or through something. And carrying these kind of things with you in life can lead to aggression, and lead to becoming a man that people are scared of and fear and dislike and hate, and yeah, that's difficult, and then so I'm talking about that with, with the phone call I've had with one of my friends, followers that you all know, he's talked to, leaves comments all the time. It's not my place to say, but he's all know him, you know. Um, and not everybody uses the right names, and a lot of people use different tags and stuff, as you can see, and so there's a good chance some of these might even know each other. You know what I mean? Um, but like I say, not everybody gets on. Not everybody agrees with everything I say. Not everybody agrees with everybody I liked back in the day, and where my politics lie, and the respect that I have for certain men. Not everybody agrees with that, and that's just life. I get that, and I expect you to understand that yes, we are all different. We all do have a difference of opinion, but doesn't mean we can't chew the fat. Doesn't mean we can't put them wee small differences aside just to get on with the bigger picture. You know what I mean? And I'm standing outside Katie's mum's house talking to Katie about the conversation I had with my friend and how it affected me. And, I was saying what I'm saying, we don't know what he'd been through. You know what I mean? There was a reason why Krusty was the way he was. There was a reason why he was feared by so many. There was a reason why it took so many men to do that to him. And yeah, there's a lot you can take from that, and from both sides. A lot you can take from that of who the character of these men truly were. That it took 5, 6 of them to do this. And there's a lot you can take from it of the character of who Kirsty was. That that many men, it took that many men to feel confidence of taking that man down. You know, I'm just telling you as an Ulster man, as a Belfast man, about how we are and the way we behave. That kind of behaviour, jumping a man like that, isn't seen as something that people will have any respect for. You know, these people have always been known for doing that. We know who they are. They know we know who they are. Nobody's ever been done for the murder. But the dogs in the street know about it. Everything about it. So this is one of them ones. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people involved who actually eat the fatal blow. You know, but I'm not going to say no more about that. You know, because I don't want 5 or 6 of them coming for me. You know, but yeah, is what it is. But anyway, so I'm talking to Katie about this, and I hear my usual, the magpie, right? So I'm like, look, there's our magpie, the Katie, and we've looked around and we're like, yeah, and we're just talking about, you know, to start talking about magpies, and the next thing the magpie came flying straight to us, right? This is no word of lie, guys. Came out of the tree as we're looking at the magpie, talking about the magpie. The magpies flew out of the tree, came flying towards us because there's another garden before her mum's. And before it got to that garden, it's pulled itself back, showed us its chest, done a wee chest thing I've never seen before, and then turned and landed on the grass. And I'm like, that's your sister. Because I honestly believe that in the spirit world that they can come back through birds. And I believe that's why we have the angels with wings. I think that's the message that was trying to get across. And nobody's going to tell me any different. And anybody wants to come on here and say you're talking shit, prove me wrong. Okay, that's what I'm going to say to any trolls. You know what I mean? I do believe that You know, that there's certain birds, especially crows. Do your own research about crows. You know, just look into crows and different. I keep getting the word mixed up. It's not universe, but it's sort of realities. And there's another word that'll come to me as I do the video. And just research crows because magpies. And this is what I was saying to Kiri half an hour ago. I'm like, magpies are crows. I never knew that. It wasn't until I've been looking into this side of the spiritual thing that it's dawned on me that like magpies are just crows with a white bit on them, you know. And then it makes sense because, like I told you, the night, the morning after we conceived Lucky, 8 magpies came and flew into my neighbour's garden. The next day, I opened the curtains and they were all sitting on my neighbour's roof in a line. Since that day, the magpies have never left us. They're surrounding my house and Katie's house. And every time we go out, they all come, if not all of them, most of them, or some of them, or we'll see between 4 and 6 of them on our journey from different places around this area, you know. And it's the same magpie, it's the same group of magpies because we know where they're all nesting. But every now and again, they all come together. You know, every now and again, I'll walk down the street and they'll all be there, either side of the roofs. You know, I've counted 10 in total. You know what I mean? So it could be young now as well. And, you know, it's like, I can remember when my mother in law died, or it was my father in law. There was this crow used to come across the road, and this is no word lie. And I swear my mother's grave, this bloody crow was going, Mark, Mark, Mark. I swear to God, you know, it was. I know you might think, you know, I'm being honest with these guys. You know, I know it just sounds like a crow. Mark sounds like a Mark, you know, but it was very, very like, it was like saying my name, you know what I mean? Okay, maybe just a coincidence, okay. Fair enough. But all I'm trying to say is, guys, just keep a wee eye out for your loved ones, you know. The fact that I'm telling you this and you have nice information, if I'm right, then you might see something. You never know. It's worth a shot, innit? So basically he was talking to you about that we were like thrown away by that. So I've came away and then I've said to Katie, tell your mum but you've seen the magpie. And you know, and then I thought, no, hold on, I've rushed back. And Katie called her back and Katie came to the door and I'm like, it's your mum's birthday today. That will be your sister. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. You know, I feel that that magpie made a point of getting our attention. It made a point of coming over and doing that. You know, and I think within the laws of whatever world they're now in, there's only so much they can do, you know. It's like I always believe that spirits are not allowed to reveal themselves. And if they were to reveal themselves, whatever power they have, they would lose. And the fear of losing that power means so much to them. Therefore, they can't reveal themselves. And that's why we never see anything. That's why nobody can ever say, oh, I've seen this and this is definitely my loved one came through and 110%. Because there's people out there that you would believe if they truly did see it. You can tell. I can tell. I can tell if somebody's lying or talking shit or, you know, or if they've had a dream. You know, a lot of people just had a dream and they think it's real. You know, there is people like that. You know, obviously, I don't know if they've had a dream or not, but there is that side of things, you know what I mean? But in general, you can tell when people's talking from the heart or they're like talking passionate about something. You know, it's like there is other tricks, what way the eye moves and all that. If you're really into that kind of thing, you know, if somebody's recalling, they'll look up to the right. If somebody's thinking of what to say, they'll look down to the left. Things like that, you know what I mean, which are true and do work and are really good tells, you know what I mean. I don't know if that's the right order. You need to do your own research about eye movement behavior regarding telling lies and honesty. You know, it's be interesting. So it would be interesting. And yeah, I suppose as well, you know, it's a nice feeling to have to think like that, to think that my loved ones are there, you know, my my mother, my wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, foster mother, Margaret, you know, even my dad, who knows, you know what I mean? Um, but in a way, you know, I was in a bad place there. You know, I was in such a bad place. I spoke to Katie about it. You know, and I'd sent my friend a message saying, "Are you okay?" You know, and I was saying to him, "Listen, try not to let yourself get down too much. Remember, not many men can walk a mile in our shoes, and the fact that we're still here, we're still able to talk to each other like this about our friends and stuff, and you know, that's a big accomplishment for both of us. You know." And I think that's the thing about remembering situations like that for guys who've been brought up in the troubles, is just think about the fact that you've got the way you are, and yes, we've left some guys behind, but that's the nature of the beast. It's what we've been brought up with, is what we're used to. And we do move on in our own ways. And, you know, I like to think that, Krusty maybe wasn't as bad as people think, or maybe he wasn't as bad as what he thought. Because when it comes to trauma and mental health, when the mind gets tricked, or your mind becomes, your wee brother runs amok, like I think has happened in my friend's case, and led him to behave in such a way, you know, I think to myself, it's really sad, but I also think that God would know this. God would know how bad of a man he truly was. And like I say, guys, like I've always said, good people can do bad things. There's no two ways about it. It's the world we live in. We're not given a manual. The Bible's there, but it's not that simple for people. A lot of people can't understand the writings of the Bible, and it's not done in a way for It's not inclusive for everybody to understand, and a lot of people aren't given that upbringing with the Bible and Christianity and God, so they don't know no other way. And are they guilty of sins? Are they guilty of? Do they deserve to go to hell because they didn't know any better? Because of what's maybe happened to some of these men when they've been younger, maybe through abuse, sexual or violence, that's turned them in a certain way, whether it could be from brain damage, from being attacked, or getting in the fights at a young age where the brain's been damaged and it's created, because there was no psychological help for anybody. Young men like Krusty did run about our societies, and they were wild. I was wild. We were all wild in our own ways. And I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to his son seeing this and getting upset, or me saying anything that may be detrimental about his memory of his dad. With that said, with me saying that, I'm proud to have been a friend of your dad. If you ever get to see this, son, and no man will ever waver me away from that, because I knew him from as a young boy growing up. Have my difference with him. Yeah, there's no, we all did. All us young men had differences, but we were all a team. We were all together. We all went our different ways as we went into our 20s and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you know, I know the true man, and what I mean. And I don't know what makes the mind work the way the mind works, whether it's abuse, well, like I say, or whether it's alcohol, or whether it's drugs, or whether it's a combination of everything because of the damage to the brain. But just because we do bad things doesn't mean we'll go to a bad place when we die. Everybody gets judged separately, and yeah. So I'm just gonna leave that bit with that and say no more about that. You know, because I gotta understand it's affecting more people. Just me talking about this. So, um, this it is okay to feel sad. It is. It's okay to feel sad. But I also want people. I think the biggest problem with a lot of people is they don't know where their loved ones are. They don't know. Can they hear me? Your loved one. If your loved one was a bit of a bad person, they'll be in hell. Well, it's not. I don't believe that. Like I say, everybody that does bad things go to hell, and it's not up to us to judge. I can't say who goes where. I can't say why people go here and why people go there. I don't have them answers. Obviously, I don't. But it's not harmful to think. If you can see the good in somebody, then there's definitely good there. Whatever brought the bad out is another thing altogether. But I think we're all born good, to be honest with you, and it just depends what we go through in life. I think the baddest are the ones that know about the good, but they still decide to be bad. The other ones maybe are the ones that are like Christians and go to church and preachers and all that do all the bad stuff. They're maybe the ones that definitely go to hell. 110%. I can say it with my hand in my heart. There is characters in the world that will definitely go to hell. We know that. But there's also people that do bad things, you know. And Imagine him going out like that would have been enough punishment. I do believe that, when my friend went to the gates of heaven, he would have blagged his way in. He would have been all right. So, talking about Katie's sister, because it's a really difficult time for her mum, even on her own birthdays. You know what I mean? I know that. I can tell. And I think it's important when we see signs, any sign, you pay attention to it. Why would you not pay attention to it? Why would I just flippantly look at that magpie up in the tree, just make like standing out from any noise? Oh, it's guys up in the lamppost, or there are guys up doing stuff to the phone wires. You know, they've been out my front, they've been out my back. I've got a phone pole out my back, and there must be about 40 telephone lines coming off it. Easy 40 off one pole. It's like a spider's web, it really is. And they're up there, probably adding more listening devices. So, yeah, if you're dealing with that kind of thing, I want you to remember that about the death side and the bad side and who goes to heaven, who goes to hell. I want you to remember to look out for signs. And it is quite possible that the angels that they spoke about in the Bible with the wings could have been a sublimable message for us, and I would do my own research into the crow side and then make your own opinion, because like that's where I do my research. I look into what I think about, and sometimes we think about things and we don't know where we get it from, and then when you look into it, you're sometimes going, oh, so go with what you believe, go with what you see, go with what you feel. Don't be scared to trust in the universe around you. Don't be scared to believe that this is your world. This is everything around you. You. Don't be scared to believe that you're the only person that matters. That everything around you is here because of you, and not the other way around. Don't be scared to think that you know there's a lot of things that you don't know. But at the end of the day, why would you think about the worst if you don't know? What harm would it think? What harm do you do yourself? You know, and I honestly feel so sorry for people who don't have any closure on their loved ones going, passing, and where they don't know where they are, or they feel that they can't reach out, or they can't talk to them, or they're just gone. That must be an emptiness that I can't imagine, because I've never had that emptiness when my mum left. I've always known my mum was there. I've always known my mum was close by, looking down. I've always felt her presence. Honestly, like, maybe that's just psychologically me protecting myself. Growing up as an orphan, keeping. I don't know, but I go with it. I believe in it. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's how I cope. And my mum believing she's there and stuff like that. But like all I do want to do is tell you look out for signs when you're thinking about your loved ones. Anybody that's passed, you know, and you're thinking about them, and you happen to see a number, or you see a certain bird, or something pops up that just thinks you think it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's them letting you know that they're there. They can't tell you directly that they're there, and they know that you're thinking about them. And a lot of people, I'm sure, probably didn't even know you felt that way, you know. But that's normally what happens. A lot of people pass, and we are left with an emptiness where I wish I had have said this, and I wish I had have said that. You know, that emptiness doesn't need to be there, guys. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. It's not too late. It's never too late. So that's the idea with grief, guys. So all my love. Hope this is okay for you. Hope it's not too sad and depressing. But that's how I'm feeling. What I've been thinking. You know, very deep conversation with a really good friend, and we're both trying to cope with things. You know what I mean? And then there's other things as well. On top of that, that's just a small part of a huge, big lifetime of chaos for quite a lot of men I know. And it's difficult, very, very difficult for these men. They have lived the life they lived. To look back on it and try and filter it into some sort of order, because trying to order chaos, I don't even think it's scientifically possible, but, you know, we try. So, guys, that's it. 22 minutes. I'm not, well, on the other wee bit. So, Jobs just came up for a cuddle. It's horrible outside. Dogs aren't interested. They're just laying beside the eater. They're curled up. Going to give them their dinner soon. Doing our bit of painting. And go round for my dinner around at my mother-in-law's. So, probably won't hear from me again till the night, tomorrow night, guys, or tomorrow morning, whatever. But all my love, and God bless every single one of you.